Hello there, friends. I'm Rachel, and welcome back to PencilStash, a channel devoted to all things coloring related. Now, as I've mentioned before, I've been itching for a new coloring book, and I do have one coming in the mail, but in the meantime, I thought I'd dig through my collection and pull out one that I haven't even yet touched. So stick around. Now, the book that we're going to be working with today is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And this book contains some of the original illustrations by Sir John Tenniel. So a lot of classic stuff in this book, as well as some pages that are a spin on those classics. And I got this book as a present quite a while ago, actually. And I think I was, working on another coloring book at the time. So this one kind of got put on the back burner. But what a great opportunity to pull it out, work on something a little bit different, and have some fun. Now, I chose this particular page because I love the caterpillar character. As a kid watching the Disney movie, I always loved how he blew the smoke rings from his hookah. Plus, do you see the background, how it's kind of loosey-goosey, kind of abstract, kind of loosely depicted? Well, I thought that it would be sort of interesting and challenging to color, especially since I normally work on pages that are very well defined. So whether or not that part works out, we're just going to have to wait and see how we feel like tackling that. When I started the page, I really hadn't planned out my color palette like I know I should. In my head, I kind of worked out that the grass would be green, maybe a little bit of purple mixed in there, and that the mushroom would kind of be that classic, like yellowy, beige, mushroomy color, and the caterpillar would be blue. But again, I think I did blue just because I'm kind of biased, like the Disney caterpillar was always blue, and that's certainly an area that I could have gotten a little bit more adventurous with. But that's really the minimum color palette that I had starting out of the gate. The rest I knew would kind of come together as I went. It always does, right? One way or another. Oh, and speaking of color, a generous commenter on last week's video pointed out that I tend to use very muted, kind of safe colors, and that she'd love to see me branch out and do something bright. And you know what? She's right. I do tend to gravitate towards a very kind of earthy, grounded color palette. It's what I've always liked, and it's definitely part of kind of my signature style. But it's always fun to challenge yourself and kind of step outside of your comfort zone with a new color scheme once in a while. And it didn't really end up happening on this page. I started strong with this like bright blue caterpillar, but then I did kind of end up falling back into my classic muted color palette. So perhaps in an upcoming video, I'll kind of limit myself to only using bright colors. And gosh, even the thought of that makes me kind of nervous. But again, it would be fun. I think maybe we'll do that. When I started to work on the background, I completely forgot to film me coloring with that lovely bright lime peel color. So that's the one that I used there. And I decided to tackle this by kind of starting with those light colors, my light greens, and then working towards my midtones, which are those kind of mid-tone greens. And then I get darker as I progressed. And remember that Alice is small here, so she's either drank or eaten something that has shrunk her down to a small size. So she's actually standing in the grass right now. And luckily, the artist did give us those lovely like cross-hatch shading lines to work with, but I also tried to concentrate my darker colors here too, just to give the illusion that she is in that deep grass. And you'll notice that I'm also not really trying to hide my strokes here. I'm purposely kind of doing those long, thin lines, and I'm purposely leaving them visible, as I think that they'll kind of provide some of that thin, like grass-like texture, just to fill in some of this open space. And just limiting yourself to greens for the grass here can be very, very limiting and just kind of end up looking flat. So I've added in several different browns here, some French grays, and I ended by adding in some black cherry, which is actually one of my favorite purples in the Prismacolor bunch. I think adding purple to greens really adds something special. And looking at this, now that it's kind of finished with the color that I want to add, I knew that I needed to blend it in some way. Now, I've been having some mixed luck with solvents lately, but I wasn't sure that a dry cotton swab would really do the trick. And I certainly wasn't about to break out my colorless blender for an area as large as this one. So I ended up putting just a touch of Gamsol on the end of my cotton swab and wiping it almost completely off with a paper towel. Using just this small amount of solvent just kind of helped me hide some of those white spaces left over, while still keeping some of those strokes that I wanted to remain visible. And just a quick note, I kind of forgot to mention, I ended up coloring Alice's dress in the same kind of blues that I used on the caterpillar, just because I thought, her dress is usually blue. And I thought that using the same ones would kind of balance out the blue on the page. He's kind of in that upper left-hand corner. She's kind of in that bottom right. So I used the same blues, but just kind of kept it a little bit more muted. And she's in the shadows mostly, so I kept it a little bit more dark on that back end. And I also forgot to color the other two little mushrooms here when I was doing the other one. So I used the exact same colors on the mushrooms. These are just little versions of the big guy. Onto the sky, which is actually my favorite part of this page when it's all said and done. And truth be told, I actually didn't color this right away. I stopped and I looked at what I'd colored so far, wondering what color I wanted to do the sky in. Remember before I said, I kind of knew, foundationally that I wanted the grass to be green, the mushrooms to be yellow, etc. That was all I really had in mind. So when I was looking at the sky, I thought, going blue just seems a little bit too predictable. Plus, it's Wonderland, so the sky could reasonably be any color I felt like doing, and it wouldn't look out of place. Now, my original thought was to color the sky kind of a lavender color. That was what my gut was telling me, and I usually go with my gut, but something was telling me that my gut was wrong. So I reluctantly proceeded with coloring it orange. And remember how my favorite part of the caterpillar scene in the Disney movies was, those hookah smoke rings? So I thought it'd be fun to add in a few more of those kind of wisps of smoke around our caterpillar and in the sky to blend into the ones that were already there for us. And that first layer was just kind of an all over like foundational layer of goldenrod. And then I took over. And then right on top of that, I added in some additional colors, some darker oranges, some kind of muted pinks, and I added in more of those kind of wispy shapes with those colors, again, to just kind of mimic the sky at sunset in Wonderland. And like I said, the rest of the page I was fairly happy with, but the sky I was very, very happy with. This is another one of those areas on this page that's kind of very loosely defined, and you can kind of use that to your advantage and put your own spin on it. When I had the color down that I wanted, I decided to blend it using just a dry cotton swab, as I thought adding any solvent here might kind of blend out some of those wispy shapes that I added in more than I wanted them to. So just a dry cotton swab here. Now we're getting pretty close to the finish line. There's just a few more areas on this page that need coloring. And as you guys know, I'm a big fan of repeating your colors in a few spots on the page. I don't like just using it once and kind of putting it away. I tend to repeat colors, just to bring a little bit of balance to the piece. So those pinks that I used in the sky, I'm going to bring them onto these flowers here on the right side of our page. And not only the pinks, but also that black cherry purple that I used earlier as well. And I finally get my lavender here on the hookah. Now my first instinct was to color this gold, but I thought that might get lost amongst those kind of similar tones that are in the mushroom and in the sky. So lavender it is. And here it is. Page is complete. Now, I restrained myself from using my usual white paint pen to add in those highlights or little extras on this piece, but I do think that would have worked well. Now this page was super fun to color, especially I've been craving just some different subject matter than what's in the books that I've been coloring lately. And this page really kind of brought me out of my comfort zone a bit, tackling those kind of loosely defined areas, and overall, I'm pretty happy with this. And I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps YouTube to grow my channel. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and checking out the back catalog of coloring tutorials. Also, I have quite a busy schedule coming up in the next month or so, but I'm going to do my absolute best to keep a normal upload schedule with you guys to have a video for you each and every week. And speaking of that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye!